Good evening. This is a Channel 30 News special on the devastating storm that hit Windsor and Windsor Locks Wednesday afternoon. At Bradley Field, gusts of more than 80 miles an hour were recorded, and the National Weather Service confirms the storm was indeed a tornado. One person was killed, more than 400 injured, millions of dollars worth of damage tonight.
The kids were just playing, and Marilyn and I were sitting and having coffee and watching the rain get worse. And I said to her, you know, it looks like a hurricane out there, but hurricanes are predicted, so it's not a hurricane.
It was about 3 o'clock, and I noticed how green the sky was, and I thought that was really kind of strange. You don't hear of a tornado in Connecticut.
Everything was turning murky green, very dark, eerie. Clouds were like really moving quickly, and I was getting pelted with hail, and the hail was like 1.5 inch hail. It echoed in the car very, very loud.
And then I heard the windows break. You break glass around me to this day, I'm going to jump, because that was the sign that something was really, really different. Something was wrong. The sofa had lifted up from the living room, had come across and hit the wall that's behind me here. And it was a heavy sofa bed. That came down on top of me. The kitchen table flipped up, and that braced itself on the oven, which was what saved us, because it gave us this little hidey hole underneath. There were 5 of us under this table, and everybody says to me, oh, you hid under the table. I'm like, no. We didn't go hide. We didn't go, we had no warning. We had no idea what it was.
How quickly did all this happen?
Oh, it was very fast. You know, people say they hear a train, it sounds like a train coming. It was too loud to hear anything. It was too black to see anything. I should have died that day. There's no question. We should not have survived that.
The wind started picking up, so I couldn't see. I pulled over to the side, and the wind blew in the back and side windows. Then the car rolled over 2 or 3 times. Somehow I got out. The winds were carrying me, so I grabbed onto a tree. I could see trailer trucks tipping over. I saw the planes at the Bradley Air Museum flying all around. I could see tops of roofs being torn off. All I heard was a real loud whooshing noise. I thought that was it for me.
It's just debris everywhere. And, you know, I'm just pedaling over stuff and jumping over stuff in order to get where I need to go. It was like a war had happened. You know, I had some small children walk up to me, have you seen my mom? You know, they're asking where their mom is. I said, I'm looking for my mom. Basically got off the bike and looked at the house. All that was left was the second story teetering inside the foundation. You know, my dad was basically, what did you see? And I described it. And he's like, so there's nothing left of the house. And at that point, it wasn't like I had a cell phone that I could take a picture. You know, that didn't exist. So I had to paint that picture to him and have him understand, you know, that she wasn't there. And so at that point, it was the waiting game.
How long did it take to find her?
I think it was about 2 to 3 days. They found her under a tree in rubble 3 houses down.
Before you found out, did you know that there wasn't going to be a good ending? I mean, did you know she had died before?
Well, my dad was pretty strong. And he clarified, it's probably the best word, that she probably wasn't coming back.
How hard is that for a 17-year-old to come upon the scene and to lose your mother in such a freak storm?
Well, 40 years later, I can recall it like a picture. It never goes away.
The medical volunteers were well prepared.
At one time, we had 2 ambulances ready to roll, one from East Granby and the other was Beacon Ambulance. And we had people from Mount Sinai Hospital, people from the health center.
While the medical volunteers left the shelters at 9 o'clock, others remained behind to offer food and bedding for the night.
The Red Cross was prepared to move 200 carts and blankets here into the Union School. In the words of one volunteer, I'll be tickled pink if we never have to use them. In Windsor Locks, I'm Lou Brown, Channel 30 News.
a relative who was a dispatcher, I believe, at the Glastonbury PD. She came over to my parents' house and wanted to know where my husband was, Billy, and they said he's working. And she said that there's been an accident and that he was killed. And my mother, I'm not really sure exactly how she told me, but she told me that he was not coming home. From my understanding, they saw the storm coming, him and 2 co-workers. They took shelter in the company truck. The driver got in on the driver's side, obviously, and Billy got in the middle, and the other fellow got in on the passenger side. Bill had his 2 co-workers put their heads in his lap, and then he went down and put his head on top of them to protect them. Unfortunately, he was the one who was fatally killed. Yeah, he was the first fatality. I just wish that he would have been around long enough to see his daughter grow up and to see his grandchildren.
Do you see him in them every day?
Yes, yes, I do. I do.
That has to make you smile, too.
It does. Obviously, I still remember that day, October 3rd, I'll never forget it.